the 115th year of Holton-Arms. 115 years. Think about this for a moment. Before cell phones, before TV, before we journeyed to the moon, even before the Wright brothers' first airplane flight, there was a Holton-Arms. We, the United States, are just 239 years old. For virtually half of our country's existence, Holton-Arms has existed. This is all the more remarkable because our mission is to educate the mind, soul, and spirit of young women. And this we have been doing very well for 115 years. Our rigorous education of women, our alumni, mirror the transformative role of women in our national society, beginning with the suffragettes, who secured the women's right to vote, to Rosie the Riveter in World War II, to the feminist movement of the 1960s and 70s, to our present time, when the fundamental values of human civilization are under assault. And globally, women are the first victims, as well as, many times, the first responders to those befallen. Holton's 115-year tradition of respect, service to others, and our richly diverse community prepares our girls to thrive in our country and in our world. Our vision to inspire women to lead lives of positive influence is invigorated by our nurturing of intellectual curiosity and personal integrity. Our training for the Holton daughters, who have been, are, and will be the leaders in the global community, begins with our emphasis on self-reliance and tenacity. As every Holton girl knows, this is crystallized in our motto, find a way or make one. Just as Mrs. Holton brilliantly chose in Weniam Wiam Out Fakiam for our motto 115 years ago, our school today celebrates these long-held ideals through high standards of instruction by our fine faculty, through the implementation of the most recent pedagogy for how girls learn best, through the integration of technology and the refurbishing of our physical campus, and the provision of the ever-evolving skills necessary for success in our students' collegiate and adult lives. Our strategic plan calls for absorption of blended and experiential learning into our curriculum, and for further development of our global education program, one which is already recognized as one of the finest leading programs of its kind in the country. How will we, the Holton-Arms community of today, do our part to see that our school, far into the distant future, continues its tradition of educating superb young women? How will we ensure that the promise of Holton lives on? Certainly, consistently providing for excellence in our leadership at the highest level, providing for a stimulating faculty and for a multifaceted student body is the first act. We are so grateful to have these cornerstones in place now, as they have been in our past. We must be good stewards now to secure our present and future. Following the leadership of the Board of Trustees and our visionary head, sustaining the promise of Holton will be accomplished by securing our financial future to support our three cornerstones. Therefore, this year is the beginning of a capital campaign to raise funds for our endowment. This endowment income contributes significantly each year to pay our teachers' salaries, to provide financial aid, to sustain our academic, arts, and athletic programs, and to improve our campus. As Susanna Jones explains, the single common denominator among the most excellent independent schools in the nation is an abundant and healthy endowment. As others have provided for us in our 115-year past, it is now our turn to assume the mantle for the promise of Holton in the present and into the future. As Holton women have already demonstrated the transformative power of women in our country's history, we continue to educate the women who, as the Dalai Lama predicts, will save the world. And I have to interject here that in 2014, Holton girls actually spoke with the Dalai Lama in India on one of our Junior Journey global trips. I am a proud Holton alumna. I like to tell each year's beginning third graders that I remember my first day at school, third grade, down in the old S Street campus downtown on a concrete playground. And I remember my third grade teacher, Mrs. Langston, who absolutely held us to all that's finest, making standards high. One day, one of you Holton students will be standing here as chair of the board, welcoming the Holton family to another school year. It is with a proud and grateful heart that I welcome you to the 2015-16 school year of Holton-Arms, the history of Holton's future. Thank you. And I'd like to introduce, again, Susanna Jones.
Can we all stand and sing the alma mater? Seated. Well, good morning and a welcome from me to the 115th school year at Holton-Arms. I want to extend a particularly warm welcome to everyone who is new to this wonderful community. Our new parents, new faculty and staff, and most of all our new girls. Let's give a particularly big hand to the new third graders, the class of 2025. They all learned to sing the alma mater the other day. I can promise all of you that you will find this a warm, supportive community where you will make lifelong connections with your friends and teachers, where you will engage deeply in the learning process, and where you will be inspired by your teachers, by your peers, and by the women who came before you. And of course, I want to recognize the great class of 2016. Congratulations, seniors. You've made it. You did a great job of starting the upper school off with tremendous enthusiasm, and all of us who drove in the driveway, which of course does not actually include me. And your video was really outstanding, and given that, I think we can anticipate a year full of creativity as we stay tuned to Channel 16. So I know that all of you read at least one or two books this summer because we tell you that you have to. But my question for you this morning is, how many of you read a book that made you think? Oh, that's pretty good. So believe it or not, we as adults in this community do summer reading also. And one of the books I read is called The Road to Character by a man named David Brooks. And Brooks, who actually lives quite near here, writes a column for the New York Times. And that basically means that almost every day he writes an essay on a topic that interests him. And periodically he decides to explore some topic in greater depth, and so he writes a book. This book has attracted quite a lot of attention, and I think for two reasons. One, because he's actually pretty famous. And secondly, because he has framed it around a rather catchy dichotomy. The difference between resume virtues and eulogy virtues. Now, a resume, for those of you who don't know, is a document that you create to outline your experience and showcase your achievements. All of you will create one, certainly by the time you apply to college, if not before. A eulogy is a speech about a person who has died, usually delivered at her funeral. Brooks argues that the qualities that make us successful, primarily in our jobs, but to some degree in school as well, the resume virtues, do not equate to our eulogy virtues, qualities that are at the core of our being. I read this book very carefully and spent quite a lot of the summer thinking about it. I will spare you my critique, but I will tell you that I didn't actually like it all that much. And I'm not sure that I agree with a lot of what Brooks argues. However, reading and thinking about resume versus eulogy virtues led me to a couple of conclusions of my own, which I am going to share with you this morning. Most importantly, I concluded that two character traits, virtues, if you will, stand above all others in importance. And those two are integrity and kindness. Now, integrity is one of those qualities that can be hard to define, but that you know when you encounter it in someone. Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines it as the quality of being honest and fair and the state of being complete or whole. Those are two separate definitions. The second one is usually referring to a thing or an institution. For example, the crack in the wall had compromised the integrity of the foundation. But they actually make sense together. A person of integrity is an upstanding citizen, someone who is always honest and fair, someone on whom you can rely to do what they're supposed to do, and to do it well. They have a wholeness about them that extends from a well-grounded moral compass. They know who they are and what they believe. They know right from wrong and do the right thing. People of integrity can look at themselves in the mirror and feel comfortable with their reflections. But people of integrity also recognize and admit when they're wrong. They take responsibility for their actions and try to right wrongs they commit. They are good people. For those of you who've read To Kill a Mockingbird, Atticus Finch models integrity. Integrity is a quality to which we should all aspire. Here at Holton, we have rules and expectations that help you learn integrity. We expect you to be honest in all your dealings. We expect you to treat others with respect. We expect you to do what's right, even when no one is watching. We expect you always to try your best. While it's easier for some of us than others, we can all become people of integrity. That may mean thinking about borrowing your sister's shirt without asking, or leaving a note on a car you hit in a parking lot even though no one witnessed the accident, or not pretending to be sick when you have a test you're not prepared for, or resisting peer pressure to do something you know is wrong. It takes effort and sometimes is hard. Sometimes you may get grief from your peers, but you know in your heart that you're doing the right thing. Like most things, the more we practice doing the right thing, the better at it we get, and the easier it becomes. Through conscious practice, we can grow into being people of integrity. The second essential virtue is kindness. Henry James, the 19th century American novelist, said, "Three things in human life are important. The first is to be kind, the second is to be kind, and the third is to be kind." Being kind means thinking about those around you, How are they feeling? What are they experiencing? Being kind is about being thoughtful, generous, and open-hearted. It's about sharing what we have, our possessions, and also our hearts with others. It's about being understanding, about trying to put ourselves in the other person's shoes. It's about helping those in need and without expecting anything in return. True kindness proceeds from selflessness. People who are kind reach out to others, making them feel welcomed and included. People who are kind do more than respect others, they embrace them. Kind people listen. People who are kind embody empathy and compassion. Like integrity, kindness comes more easily to some than others, but like integrity, it is also something we can all achieve. We can easily engage in small acts of kindness. Make an effort to include the new girls in your class. Help someone who is struggling. Be patient with your younger siblings, even if they are annoying you. Make an effort to say thank you, to do something nice for someone. Be polite and nice to your parents, even if they're annoying you. Above all, don't be mean in person, behind someone's back, or online. Meanness is the opposite of kindness. And people of integrity aren't mean either. When people are kind, animosity and anxiety melt away. Kindness builds connections and makes people feel valued. Kindness creates warm, caring communities. Now, maybe I'm naive, but I don't think that resume and eulogy virtues have to be mutually exclusive. In fact, integrity and kindness practiced appropriately and genuinely, without being self-righteous or cloying, should help you succeed. And I would argue that if you work or go to school in a place that doesn't value those qualities, or worse, where the exercise of those qualities would hinder your advancement, you should find somewhere else. We deeply value integrity and kindness here at Holton, and I personally value those qualities as well. I work hard to show integrity and be kind. And this year, after my summer of contemplating virtue, I am committing myself this year to act with even more kindness and more integrity. I hope you'll join me. Thank you. It's my pleasure now to introduce our Representative Assembly Director, a member of the great class of 2016, Mimi Chouikha.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mimi Chouikha, and I am a member of the wonderful class of 2016. You know, the ones that were yelling at you today while you drove onto campus. Today, I would like to welcome the third grade class of 2025, who have a special place in my heart since I sat in their exact spot a mere 10 years ago. Yes, you heard me correctly. This is my 10th year at Holton, and I couldn't be more proud. In these 10 years, I've had the privilege of learning not only about myself, but also about the vast world around me. For this reason, I would like to impart my wisdom on the class of 2025 and share with them my idea of what exactly a Holton girl is. I wish it could be simple, but in reality, a Holton girl is indescribable. A Holton girl is too great, too beautiful, and too powerful to be expressed in words. But just like the schools taught me, I will find a way or make one to describe her for you today. A Holton girl is compassionate, resourceful, and resilient. Her many passions and interests motivate her to meet her dreams and stop at nothing less. Holton girls laugh boisterously at the limits others try to impose on them and gallantly work to prove their full potential and ability. Holton girls seek adventure and pride themselves in pushing their boundaries and reaching their goals. They settle for nothing less than what they deserve, and in most cases, that's perfection. To be completely honest, Holton girls rule the world. We have mastered a variety of skills and techniques that set us apart from other girls our age. For example, did you know that each and every girl in this stadium knows how to juggle? Isn't that just spectacular? Yep, we Holton girls can juggle academics, sports, arts, extracurricular activities, and our personal lives, all while helping out our community and supporting our dearest friends. Just amazing. Or did you know that every Holton girl is actually a secret superhero? I kid you not. Holton girls spend their nights using only a pen and paper to prepare to battle evil villains such as the infamous midterm exams and pop quiz. But in all actuality, Holton girls are more than incredible, because even after graduating, they still hold these qualities to the highest standard while imparting their wisdom and knowledge on the world. Holton creates such a large impact on its girls. Every student, past, present, and future, will always hold Holton in her heart. I can assume now that some girls are squirming in their seats and asking themselves, do I meet the characteristics of a Holton girl? And trust me, I was right there too. But the answer is soon enough. Soon enough, everything will click and you will fit into the larger puzzle that is this school. Soon enough, you will find yourself standing taller and more confident in your plaid because you are aware of its deeper meaning. Soon enough, you will see that these qualities have always been there if you search down deep enough. So no worries, it all happens in time, even if it takes 10 years. Take me, for example. Although I've attended the school for almost a decade now, I am still striving to reach all attributes that make a Holton girl special. For instance, this summer, I had the privilege of traveling to India on a global education trip. The trip was absolutely incredible, and without a doubt, the best experience of my life. I appreciate that I learned to push my boundaries and break out of my comfort zone. However, I never knew how large my comfort zone was until I encountered a tarantula while in a Buddhist monastery. Picture it. There I was, walking to my hotel room alone to get some water, when suddenly a poisonous spider interrupts my joyous stroll. Immediately, my eyes enlarged to see the creature glaring directly at me, as if it was finding my absolute terror humorous. With a quick turn of my heels, I found myself explaining to a nearby monk my ordeal and asking him to either remove and/or terminate the spider. We don't kill spiders, he explained, but I objected, declaring, that is not a spider, that is a monster that's out to get me. Laughing in good humor, the monk agreed to move the spider outside the building, even asking if I wanted to see it up close. I deeply wanted to push my boundaries and be on good terms with my spider acquaintance. But to my surprise, I had already sprinted down the hallway far from the beast's glare. Now reflecting back on the trip, I have a new respect for the delicate balance of nature and will strive to admire from afar all my spider friends, from very far. So class of 2025 and all other grades, please listen closely. You are boundless. You are wonderful. You are brilliant. You are ineffable. You are completely able to combat giant spiders. You are a Holton girl now and forevermore. Thank you for your time.
Welcome to you all. For over 20 years, we've put together a chorus just for this special occasion. And this year's chorus is full of faculty and staff members and singers from the 6th, 8th, 10th, and 12th grades. This year's song was introduced to me by Josephine Davis, class of 2016. And yeah, we can have a little bigger cheer for Josephine and the It's important to note that Hole in the World was written originally in response to the horrific terrorist attack on September 11th, 2001. Henley and Frey put the lyrics in a drawer after they wrote it, thinking maybe it wasn't so good. And then they got it out later and recorded it. And part of the reason they recorded it was because there were more incidents, there were more conflicts, there were more traumas going on in the world, well beyond what had occurred on September 11th. And I want you to think about the literal hole in the world when the World Trade Center towers dropped and the plane hit the Pentagon, and think about the cloud of sorrow that that devastation brought up. But then think metaphorically about that hole and that cloud in the rest of the world in our lives now and in the future. This song says we have a responsibility, all these incredible Holton girls have a responsibility to make sure there isn't a hole in the world tomorrow if we learn to love one another. So here it is.
Thank you, everybody. That was really, really wonderful. It is now my great pleasure to introduce our faculty speaker for this morning's convocation, Margo Tintle, who for many years taught fourth grade and is now the lower school learning and reading specialist. Margo?
My golden retriever, Hunter, really notices things with his nose. When we're on a walk and he notices an intriguing smell, he locks his legs into an immovable triangle so he cannot be pulled away. He is too busy sniffing deeply at his world, taking in information that my human brain can't perceive. Hunter's lesson to me is notice the world around you. Let's take a moment to notice the world around us today. The artist Robert Irwin said, "It's a constant, continuous, spectacular world we live in, and every day you see things that knock you out if you pay attention." The lower school's summer reading book, Sidewalk Flowers, is an eloquent picture book with no words. The reader has to really pay attention to the pictures. They tell the story of a girl who notices the world around her, while her father talks on his cell phone. He's oblivious to what's going on. The girl notices every flower and every weed growing from the cracks in the sidewalk and out of city buildings. And she doesn't stop at just noticing the flowers. She takes action. Likewise, we can't stop at just noticing. We need to wonder, and then we need to do something. In Sidewalk Flowers, the girl not only notices the flowers, she also notices people and animals that might appreciate receiving these flowers. So she gives her flowers away little by little, brightening the world for all she encounters. So we need to notice the people around us. Today, on the first day of school, there are lots of new faces. This year, there are 23 new students in upper school, 19 new students in middle school, and 76 new students in lower school. Sometimes it's easier to pay attention to the new, the novel. But I encourage you to notice everyone. Notice that girl whose face lights up when she comes up with a creative solution to an engineering problem. Notice the girl who's usually bubbly and one day doesn't have a smile on her face. And notice that girl who tries to hide behind her books. At one time, I was that girl. When the other kids played kickball, I sat on the wall and read my library book. One day, a 6th grade teacher, Miss Weiss, noticed me. She said, "I notice you really like to read, and that you're good at remembering and explaining what you've read. There's a new teacher in 2nd grade, and she's having a really hard time with her class. I wonder if at recess time, you could go help her with her class." That invitation led me to working with small groups of children, teaching them to read. Miss Weiss noticed me, she wondered, and she did something about it. This made me feel recognized and appreciated, and that shaped the course of my life. There's always something to notice in the people around us. We can notice by really listening to what someone says or what she doesn't say, what her body language says. What do we do when we have this information? You never know. By noticing someone and speaking to her, you might change her life. She might change yours. Finally, it's important to notice what's going on inside ourselves. In the movie Inside Out, Joy says, "Okay, first day of school, very, very exciting. I was up late last night figuring out a new plan. Here it is." At that point, Fear walks by. Joy says, "Fear, I need a list of all the possible negative outcomes on the first day of school." Fear replies, "Way ahead of you there. Does anyone know how to spell meteor?" Now, a meteor may be an extremely unlikely, event on the first day of school. But I am sure many of us have plans, like Joy, and fears about this first day. Take a moment to notice what's going on inside of you. I notice I feel nervous being up here in front of all of you. I'm also a bit excited about starting a new year and a new position. And I feel a bit relieved that school is finally getting started after so much planning and thinking about it. So as we go out to greet this new day and this new school year, I have one word for you: notice.
Thank you, Ms. Tintle. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our eighth grade class president, who's representing the middle school, Jenna Mohi-ud-din.
Good morning and welcome. Welcome new students, faculty, and staff. Welcome to all who are returning, and welcome class of 2016, especially my sister Intra, to your final convocation as students. My name is Jenna Mohi-ud-din. I'm so excited to be here and to share with you one of the most important lessons I've learned at Holton. This lesson is that you must work for everything, not just in the moment, but well in advance. No matter what your goal, preparation is key. Now, if in order to succeed, we must prepare, what is success? Success shouldn't be measured by the accomplishments of our peers. Instead, true success is a personal thing. It is based upon goals that you set for yourself, and these goals may not be the same as those of your peers. While success can be hitting a three-pointer in the last 5 seconds of the state championship, it can also be trying out for the lacrosse team in 7th grade, knowing everybody else has been playing since they were 8 years old. Success can mean getting an A on your math exam, but it also means putting in 110% effort and starting to better understand the Pythagorean theorem. Success isn't just athletic or academic. It's also being a good classmate, peer, and friend. It's inviting someone new to sit with you in the cafeteria or stopping in the hall to pick up pens that somebody has dropped. Success doesn't come easily to anyone, whether it's doing well on a test, playing your best in a game, or performing well in a concert or musical. Being put in a group with your If preparation is key, then how do we prepare ourselves for the challenges ahead? Of course, there's the more basic things like keeping your planner organized and studying well before tests. But preparation also means taking advantages of the opportunities we are given. Then, we most certainly will succeed. We are lucky to be at a place like Holton. Everyone who works here is focused on helping us be the best versions of ourselves that we can be. Everything from well-maintained fields to a wide variety of clubs and classes to great teachers and coaches to work with us and cheer us on. But preparation means something else as well, something perhaps more important. It means making it in your mindset that you are going to reach your goals and that this is going to be a good year. Before you succeed at anything, you must first see it in your mind and then take the steps to get there. Although I'm only going into 8th grade, I can see where preparation will lead me because I have aunts who have graduated from Holton and have told me how their preparation throughout their years here has made them the women they are today, women who are making a difference in the world. I believe this works because I've seen my sister, who came into Holton in 7th grade without the advantages of having gone through the preparation in lower school, work twice as hard to achieve everything she has achieved. She is a strong, smart woman and a role model to me. Take my message, prepare to succeed with you, and make it your best year yet. This year, stay organized, study for tests early, memorize your lines in the school play, listen to your coaches and teachers, be open to new people and new ideas. Treat your failures like opportunities to learn. Treat not being put in a group with your close friends as a chance to meet new people, and treat not being invited to something as your chance to catch up on Gossip Girl. As you begin the 2015-2016 school year, prepare to become better every day. Prepare to shake up your routine, prepare to make a difference. 2016, prepare for graduation. 2020, prepare for high school, and everyone prepare to be your best selves. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenna. And now, representing the lower school, 6th grader Hannah Sharp.
Hi, my name is Hannah Sharp, class of 2022. Today is my first day of 6th grade, and I would like to talk about first days. All of us have had first days, such as first days of school or new school, first days of summer camp or soccer or dance class, and more. First days come with trying new things and going new places, like kindergarten. On the first day of kindergarten, I was delighted. I have been waiting all my life for this day. It was my first day to ride a school bus and my first day of real school, not like preschool or pre-K. It was my mom's first day to let me ride a school bus, and honestly, she was more scared than I. When I arrived at school, I surveyed all the toys and books and thought all I was going to do was play with the toys, play games, take naps, read books, and then graduate. But happily, I was wrong and quickly realized that school was a place of learning and that I would get to keep coming back for days and years to come. By the way, if this is your first day or first year riding a school bus, you can do it. On my first day of third grade, I had to adjust to a new environment because this is when I came to Holton. And like you, I was scared, nervous, and excited about all the things I would do that year. I had to adjust in Holton ways, new friends, and new teachers. I remember my teacher had a lot of smiley faces all around her classroom, and it made me feel welcomed. She told us to tell everyone a little bit about ourselves, and that is how I got to know my classmates, the ones that I would most likely spend the rest of my school years with. I realized that we had so much in common. Since the first day was spent getting to know each other and the school, I could not wait to start learning in our classes the next day. One thing I do remember about coming to Holton is that the teachers embraced us all and welcomed us to our new school. So just know that you are not alone and that most of the other girls are likely feeling the same way as you. Holton also has counselors and advisors to talk to and help you with your first days and any other day. The first day of fourth grade was much easier than third because I had lots of friends. I was eager to know what homeroom teacher I would get. I couldn't wait for the new things we would do, such as go-karting and field day at the end of the year. I really wanted to write stories and writing, read interesting books and reading, and study different cultures and religions and perform in plays and social studies. I soon realized that the more first days you have, the more comfortable you become with them. When the first day of fifth grade came around, I was very giddy. The night before, I could not sleep, and the next day, I had an awful headache and slept in every class. This is just to show not all first days are our best, but at Holton, the enjoyable year makes up for it. For example, I was so excited when I received my iPad and went on an overnight class trip to Philadelphia. We also went to Camp Caliva, where it was my first time walking on a tightrope. The only thing holding me up was rope, my friends, and a staff member from Caliva. Just like at Holton, your friends or teachers are there for you, holding you up. Today is the first day of sixth grade for me, and I am thrilled to get my iPad back. Eager to be a patrol and to wear the white Team Panther costume. I'm earnestly waiting for Greek Day, and basically, I'm looking forward to the year. I have made many new friends since third grade, and I know you will too. In closing, good luck to all the third graders and all new girls. Just know that we are Holton sisters, and we are here for you, one big Holton family. And to my returning sisters, welcome back. To the seniors, even though this is your last year at Holton, you still have first days, like first days of college, or a job, or driving, if you haven't started. So good luck to you too. You will still be part of our Holton family. I hope we all have a great and exciting year, and many more first days. Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah. Can we all rise and sing America the Beautiful?